Come.
Alright, so the first tier list today. We're gonna do a tier list on the biomes and the traders. So this is gonna be the smaller tier list that we're doing today. The reason why I am doing both biomes and traders at the same time is because with the new 1.0 update, traders are connected directly to the biome that you're in. So Rekt is in the Pine Forest biome. Jen is in the Burned Forest biome. Bob, Desert. Hugh, Snow. Joel, Wasteland. Right. Almost forgot Hugh's name. So because each trader is within a specific biome and that's the only place you can find them, I think it's better if we actually rate them together on one tier list. With that being said, this does not mean that I am going to have the biome and trader be at the same tier. So Joel could be C, but Wasteland could be B. That's not what they're gonna be, by the way, but just an example. So keep that in mind. This is mainly for people who haven't played in a while or haven't played the 1.0 update. This will actually help you better understand where to build a horde base. Because there are certain traders that I think you should always build a base next to or close to. Depending on your playthrough. At least have access to them where like you don't have to spend an entire day going over to them, if that makes sense. So I think that's a pretty fair assessment. When it comes to the biomes, we're going to be rating the biomes based off of the resource collection, the difficulty and loot capabilities, and the aesthetic. I posted a TikTok saying the snow biome was pointless, and that shit blew up. I didn't expect it to blow up. It was kind of like one of those TikToks that I make that I just kind of was like, it's gonna be okay. It blew up. Over 100,000 views. People were furious at me for saying that the snow biome was pointless. Everybody was like, how dare you? It's the nicest biome. You get so much schmeat. Like, I get it. You love that schmeat. But, like, listen, man. I'm sorry. I'm sorry. So this is going to be the tier list for that as well. But I was amazed. To start, we got the Pine Forest. To start, Pine Forest. A tier. Pine Forest is an easy A tier. Resource collection, I mean, literally the only resource that they don't have is oil shale. You can find iron, coal, nitrite, clay, stone, wood. It's literally like the resource haven spot. Hell, I mean, like sometimes if I need clay, when I go visit Trader Rekt in the Pine Forest, I will just get clay there because it's easier to do it there than it is in like the Wasteland or something. So it has every resource that you ever would need when it comes to like mining and wood and stuff. Difficulty, it's the beginner biome, so it's easy. No loot bonus for being in there, sadly, but that's okay because it's the beginning. You're not really supposed to be focusing on loot bonus. It's not a big deal. Doesn't have any special zombies, but also okay. You don't really want to fight special zombies when you just start out the game. And it's one of the nicer looking biomes. I mean, it's aesthetically pleasing. It's just an all-around great biome if you're just trying to have a chill gaming session. It's not supposed to be a, you know, you're not tryharding if you're staying in this biome. That's okay. Like, you don't need to try hard at this game every time. Next up, we have Trader Rekt, who is in the Pine Forest biome. I'm putting him at B. Rekt's in B because his specialty item is food. Which, I mean, early game, when you're in the Pine Forest, that's the best thing you could ever ask for. You need food. You need a lot of food. That's your main focus for the first, like, day or two. So, him selling food is a big deal. And it's very easy to get more food with him nearby, so at least from mid-game and early game, especially early game, he is a useful trader to be around. Personality-wise, I would sell him for, like, 5 dukes. I fucking hate this guy. He's a piece of shit. He's an asshole. He's an old man. Quite frankly, if he died tomorrow, I would just loot his base and leave. I wouldn't feel bad. I fucking hate this guy. And that's why he's not higher. Honestly, I would feel... No, fuck you. Rekt. See, no, what? No. He's okay for food, but, like, mid to late game, he's not very useful. I fucking hate him. He's a piece of shit. He can die. I don't care. Fuck him. Sorry. Next. The Burned Forest. Burned Forest. D. Burned Forest is probably the worst biome. It has wood and coal. You get more coal from this biome because cutting down trees gives you coal. In this biome. That's good. That's cool. Coal is a great resource. You need it for gunpowder. You need it for fuel, especially. It's the best fuel source in the game. The thing is, you can get 500 coal from like a tier 2 or tier 3 quest reward. And 500 coal will last you like 2 or 3 weeks in game. So it's not... Coal isn't hard to get. It's also ugly. So aesthetically wise, it's kind of shit. And difficulty-wise, the only unique thing about it is you get half a skull more difficulty, which isn't that much, so it's not a major boost to difficulty, but you have to deal with the burning zombies, which aren't hard to kill, but they're kind of assholes. Like, they're loud, and if they hit you, you sometimes catch on fire, and that's just annoying, because then I have to waste my water that I have for putting out the fire. Fuck him. Fuck him. What? Well, I guess the burning zombie looks like a dude. Fuck this biome. It's just bad. It's just not a good biome. And, so yeah. Don't build here. Just don't have a horde base here. Unless you like the burnt forest aesthetic, then by all means do it. But I think it's gross. And it's just not the difficulty improvement. It's like, if you're in this biome, you don't want to challenge. But if you don't want to challenge, just stay in the pine forest at that point. You don't need to come here. There's no benefit to being here outside of the coal. But you can just come here like once a month and get coal. In game once a month and get coal. And you're fine. So, it's not... You don't need it. You don't need it. Trader Jen. My queen. Trader Jen is us. I just saw when I was logging on today that they're making a Jen U2s. I'm pre-ordering that shit. Like, after stream, I'm pre-ordering that shit. I love this woman, okay? She's amazing. She makes Fallout 4 references. Not Fallout 4 references. Fallout references, the stim packs. She's hot. I mean, man, okay, she's the only girl in the fucking game. I need something. I need something. The rest of the dudes, traders in this game are all old men. They're all... Oh, fuck. They're all old men. Listen. Put something in this game. I don't care what. But, like, the 4 other traders are all old men. Variety. Like, she is the only variety in this fucking game. God damn it. And she has 2 big personalities. All right, I love her. In all seriousness, when it comes to, like, actual gameplay, she is actually one of the best traders in the game. She's the doctor, medical supplies, and even late game, medical supplies are probably the best thing. I mean, you're gonna have tons of first aid kits, but, like, infection cures, broken bones and arms. Sorry. Broken arms and legs, especially if you don't have parkour, she'll have cures for that, splits, stuff like that. But yeah, she's awesome. She is like a great trader to have. So it kind of sucks that she's in the burnt forest and can only be found in the burnt forest. But she is a great trader to be near. So if there is a biome that you like that's near the burnt forest, that's near Trader Jen, I would 1000% live there. Because having free access to any, like, injury cure is something you want. At all times. Even late game is something you want. Yeah, first aid kits aren't really a big issue, so that's not a huge concern, because you always find those in end loot. But, like, when it comes to, like, the actual infections and illnesses, like broken bones, abrasions, well, not abrasions, broken bones, fatigue, concussions, she has everything. So, she's great to be near. Personality wise, she's my favorite, and her base is also really cute. She's like held up in a church surrounded with, like, you know, all like the new research tents and stuff for like medical field stuff, and like her church inside is cute. It's a nice place. It's a nice compound, but in general, listen, she's awesome. She's awesome. We love her. We are a Jen appreciator channel. If you don't like Jen, you can end the video now because I don't want you here anymore. Okay, next, desert. Also A. Desert is kind of like that, it's kind of like the upgraded pine forest when it comes to resources. But instead of coal, I don't really see much coal in the desert. It's oil shale. Oil shale only spawns naturally here. And in very specific POIs. So the oil shale is how you make gas, and it's the best way to get gas. And in fact, most people will have to make treks out to the desert every few weeks to get, or at least every week or two, to get gas. To get oil shale to make gas, excuse me. So it's a very important biome for you resource-wise. It's also barren, so it's really easy to find iron and nitrite nodes, as well as oil shale nodes. So when it comes to resource collection in general, it's good. It also has sand and yucca fruit. The sand is good for cement. So instead of having to spend time crushing rocks to make sand, you can just dig up sand here. And yucca fruit is used for yucca smoothies, which is the best water source in the game. So overall, great biome. I'm actually gonna put it in S tier. Sorry, because here's why. It's too good. No, A. I'm putting it in A because of the aesthetic. And people are going to hate me for that probably. Yeah, A. Here's why. Unless you're trying to do like a cool Mad Max base build, it's barren. It's kind of meh. It's as meh as like the burnt forest and the wasteland when we get to that. So to me, it's like, other than the blue sky, it's not really pretty. It's kind of pointless. For aesthetic purposes. So I mean, unless you're trying to match like that desert, like Mad Max aesthetic, you don't need it. You don't need it for aesthetic purposes. But for resources and for the difficulty increase, you finally get a full skull difficulty increase. So you actually can get better loot in POIs, like decent buff and loot collection. So overall, pretty good biome. Not really a place that I would build a horde base, but I'd build it right next to one. So it's a good place. Bob. I'm gonna put in C tier. Here's why. Bob's trading specialty is vehicles and vehicle parts. Now you may be thinking, that's really good for early game, because if you don't get enough of the vehicle magazines, you can buy 4x4 accessories and 4x4 chassis and build the damn car. However, this motherfucker never sells vehicle parts the first like 2 weeks for me. Maybe I'm unlucky, but at most he sold like the motorcycle accessories on day like 11 or day 10. And it's just like, if you only sell one of the two parts, I have to constantly wait for a trader reset to build the car or the motorcycle. And by the time I got the motorcycle like upgrade, like for the reading enough vehicle books, he still didn't sell the other piece. He didn't sell the handlebars for me. And he never does. He only sells like one part. And it's not until like, at least, like I've seen him sell a 4x4 on day like, whatever, like some day in the mid 30s, whatever day of a day 30 reset is. So it's like, in the mid 30s, you are at day 30s, you already have a 4x4. So he's not even selling full vehicles until later. And it's 40,000 dukes. So it's expensive. It's rare. Like, his specialty does not show up very often in his shop. Maybe I'm unlucky. That could be true. But I only bought one part from him, which was the 4x4 accessories, and then I had to craft the other one, which meant I had to actually get the magazines for it. And if you already have the magazines for it, then you can already craft both anyways, so it's not really useful. He's not Rekt, so he's not going to go lower than Rekt. I mean, he's a cool guy. I like him personality-wise. He's chill. He's like the second and only other trader that doesn't threaten you with violence, usually. If you don't buy anything. But, me. He's just not... His compound's kind of cool, too. But he's just, like, when it comes to actually being a trader, he's kind of shit. Just saying. Snow biome! I'm kind of scared. I'm scared to put this biome here. Because everyone yelled at me when I said this biome was pointless. So I'm terrified to fucking put this on this goddamn tier list. We'll put it at B. We're gonna put it at B. I'm not putting it higher than the Pine Forest and Desert. Fight me on that shit. Aesthetically, I agree with most of the comments. It is the nicest biome looking. What the fuck did I just say? It's the nicest looking biome. It is. It looks pretty. It's, if you're building a horde base here, it looks good. It can look really cool. Looks menacing. Challenge-wise, it is a fairly difficult biome. It's a little harder than the desert, not too much, but a little bit. Has the lumberjack zombie as its special zombie. That's a harder zombie. It's harder than most. But you can also find it in certain POIs across the entire map. So it's not like it's special to this place. Better loot, slightly better loot than the desert, which is cool. Snow, so you can make yucca smoothies. You can't actually make water anymore out of the snow because there isn't jars. So can't make water anymore, which kind of sucks. But yucca smoothies are obviously the best water in the game, so it's still good. And you get a lot of meat because there's a lot of animals. There's regular bears and there's regular cougars, or mountain lions, whatever they're called. So good meat source, good yucca smoothie snowball source, obviously, and decent loot. It's hard, so it's a good challenge and it's fun. Not fun. Fun's the right word, but it's harder, so it's more enjoyable, I guess, if you're looking for a challenge. But and aesthetically, it looks nice. But resource-wise, it's pretty barren. I mean, it's a snow biome. You'd expect that. Someone said in the TikTok comments that, like, it apparently has a higher chance for gems. I don't know how true that is. I mean, regardless, gems aren't that big of a deal. So I'm not gonna put that in this. It's just, it's meh. It's cool. It's a good biome. It's better than the burnt forest. But resource-wise, it's kind of ass. I might as well just go to the pine forest or desert if I need resources at that point. So, sorry. It's the highest it's going. I think B's fair. But aesthetically, it's really nice. Alright. Hugh. Hugh will be S. Hugh is cool. He's a cool guy. He's hyped up. He sells bullets and guns. You know, in a zombie apocalypse survival game, bullets and guns are pretty fucking important and pretty fucking cool. So, having a trader that sells that as its primary thing is going to rank pretty high on a trader list. That's how it is. So yeah, he's the gun specialist. He sells some good stuff. He's a good trader. Not better than my Queen Gen, but still up there in quality. But yeah, I mean, he's a cool guy. He's pretty vibey. He's a homie. And he doesn't threaten you too much, I don't think, when you don't buy anything. I don't go to him too often because the snow biome's so far away from where I live, but I don't think he does too often. So, chill guy. And he sells some good weapons. So yeah, S tier all the way. He's probably, like, if there's a Hugh on, like, the border of a snow biome and the Wasteland biome, which is the next biome we're doing, which I'm putting in S, I would 1000% live near there, because then you can get Hugh's stock whenever you want, and you can get the Wasteland biome. Now, aesthetically, for me personally, I like it. It's the apocalyptic wasteland that you would think of in a zombie apocalypse. Looks cool, looks menacing. There's debris everywhere, which is kind of a pain in the fucking ass, but I mean, it aesthetically pleasing. Aesthetically wise, it's a cool biome. I fuck with it. I think it looks really good, especially for a zombie apocalypse. It also has the highest difficulty, which means you're gonna get the best loot from this biome. So a tier 5 in this biome is going to give you the best loot stage possible to get the best loot possible. So this is where you're gonna go for loot, for loots, not resources, loot. Resource-wise, there's a lot of surface metal that you can mine, and it's a good amount. I think there is ore nodes here as well, but because of all the junk and debris, it's harder to find. There's a lot of cars in this area, so if you're looking for mechanical or electrical parts, or more importantly, batteries or engines, there are cars that spawn here that you can break down, which is also really nice. So resource-wise, it's pretty good. Zombie-wise, obviously the hardest. You're going to have feral whites actually spawning here, as well as mutated. The mutated are the big head guys, which we're actually going to do a zombie tier list in a second. So that's another good one that we'll talk about. But so it's a challenge. It's the hardest area to be. Has the highest loot stage, so highest loot potential. And aesthetically, if you're into the zombie apocalypse type thing, it's the best biome to be in. Obviously, there is drawbacks. I mean, it's bleak. So if you're not into that, like if you don't like the bleakness of a zombie apocalypse, then you may not want to be here. That's why snow biome was loved by so many people. These are probably the two best to like just generally live in if you want to. I just like the Wasteland because I like the challenge. So, challenge makes it better. The loot makes it better. The resource collection makes it better. What sucks about this biome is the trader. Joel is going in B. He's gonna go slightly higher than Bob, not higher than Joel or not higher than Hugh or Jen. Excuse me. Joel is interesting. He is the armor seller. He's the armor trader. He specializes in armor. At least right now, it is easier to just craft your own goddamn armor than buy it. Maybe very early game, you can buy your armor. But here's the fucking problem. Who the fuck is in the Wasteland early game, chat? Who? It's the last biome you unlock. He's the last trader you find if you're doing the challenges in order. Who, like, you have armor at this point. You probably have tier 4 armor at this point. Or potentially even tier 5. Maybe even a tier 6 piece that you crafted yourself. Like, what? Like, he seems like he would be the trader for like tier 2 or tier 3, so you can finally like have some decent equipment wearing and some decent defense. He's just not great. In all honesty, and maybe I'm biased, I genuinely believe, pun intended a little bit, Trader Jen and Trader Joel should switch biomes. Because, to me, the order of unlocking should be food, armor, weapons, vehicles, then medication, or meds. Right? Because, like, the biggest thing with a zombie apocalypse is getting infected. So, to me, the meds should be the hardest thing to unlock. And I think a place that's irradiated, which is what the Wasteland's supposed to be. It's supposed to be, like, radiated wasteland. Then a doctor would probably be in the radiated wasteland curing people. So, I feel like Jen should be in the Wasteland. And Joel should be in the Burnt Forest. But I digress. I don't make the game. And maybe I'm biased because if Jen was in the Wasteland, I would never leave the Wasteland. But that's not here or there. So, yeah. Joel is the armor guy. Armor isn't that big of a deal that late into the game, so you don't really access him until late into the game, and what's the point then? What's the point then, right? Like, if you already have him... Like, if you already have armor, you don't need to buy his armor. And if you... I mean, he sells other stuff too, right? But, like, if I wanted bullets or something, I can go to bullets or meds or vehicle parts or food. I can go to the other people. So he's kind of just in the Wasteland as, like, a resource vendor for me. I just go to him and buy all his forged steel and cement and stuff. I don't think I've ever bought an armor from this guy. So, meh. Not a great trader, not a bad one. Middle of the road. He does sell good armor, though. He sells, like, tier 3, tier 4, and tier 5. So, good armor salesman, but kind of too late into the game for it. But yeah, I mean, so this is the tier list. Trader Jen, my queen, is gonna always be on top. There's no way you can tell me otherwise. And Rekt can die in a ditch tomorrow, and I would be accepting of it.